Hello, my name is Chirag,
And my name is Joshua.
and welcome to the Outspoken Brothers.
Podcast.
So, today's episode is about Did we break up, Joshua? Is the podcast over? Is it done?
So yes, Shir, that is the big question where many friends, family, and even new fans ask me about what happened to the podcast. How come we didn't post anything for so long? Did we break up in the sense that the podcast does not exist anymore? So yes, this is the big question. So for a quick answer, no, we did not break up. The podcast is still alive and is still continuing. But on the other hand, it's going to be a little bit more different than the usual YouTube episodes, talking in the aspect of YouTube. So yes, so what really happened? So what happened is that I decided to move away from Germany and not move cities. I moved somewhere far away. I moved to a new country. I moved to somewhere very far away with a time difference of 6 hours, or I think 7 hours. So where did I move? So I moved to Malaysia.
Wow,
Since I'm half Malaysian, my home country, my other half home country. So
that's
yes,
amazing. That's amazing, bro. So, Malaysia, so how come? I mean, we got a big time difference. Like, what is it, 7 hours?
yeah, it is 7 hours.
So, how is it possible to you and me still continue our podcast? How can we do it?
Yeah, so how are we gonna do the podcast? So you guys can kind of see it. This is a one way, an idea what we're doing. So we're gonna try to do it through a Zoom meeting. Or no wait, sure. This isn't a Zoom meeting. What is this actually exactly?
So basically, this company which specialized in like podcast interview software that helps podcaster to, I don't know, it's called StreamYard. So many people know it who are in the podcast game, but it's basically an application that helps us to record ourselves while doing an interview, because if we do it over Zoom, the quality gets so bad. So it's a
Yeah.
streaming platform, yeah, for podcasters.
So yes, guys. So this is the new idea, the new way how we're gonna keep the podcast alive. We're gonna do it like Shiak said with this meeting or this kind of little bit similar to Zoom, but it's specific for podcasts or specific for people trying to post YouTube videos together in kind of a meeting situation or a dual camera situation. So yes, so this is the way how we're gonna keep the podcast alive. And we're gonna continue our episodes like always, like usual, but through the cameras this time. And
And
yes, well,
definitely. So we're going to continue our podcast. We started it together and we're going to finish it together. I mean, there's no finish, but we continue together to grow. And basically, we're doing it right now online through this application. And yeah, exactly. So, but basically, like, even when we met in person, Joshua and me, we always wanted to do it online. So, Joshua, tell us, what is our first mission, or basically a new kind of era what we're going to start with our podcast?
okay, so Shirk and I did a lot of planning, and we did the planning, like Shirk said, before I moved. So we're not only going to do the podcast through these two kind of like these the call meetings what we're doing, for example, right now, but we're gonna open a new dimension and make the podcast more interesting by adding featured guests.
Well,
So yeah, so Shirk, maybe tell the viewers about, don't tell them too much, but kind of like what kind of featured guests or the kind of context that what you have been finding and what you found it.
yeah, basically, I reached out to a lot of people that kind of waked my interest up, and where I know, okay, they are basically thinking like-minded like us, so they're like-minded like us, and who got an literally uh, yeah, basically the same mindset like we have. So we wanted to take them on our podcast to not only make it a little bit more like different and more, yeah, funny, no, not funny, more,
More like something new, like more adventurous, more
yeah,
fire in the podcast.
exactly. We wanted to like mix things up, and that's why we thought about getting a guest on our podcast. And basically, we are not striving for someone who is so well known and everybody knows them. No, basically, you could also be the next one on our podcast. So, like, we are open for everyone. The only thing that you have to keep in mind is that we want to talk about things like mental health or something that helps people to move forward in their lives. So basically, if you read an interesting book or got an interesting story to tell, or you just want to help people and don't get the platform yet, so we are basically offering you a spot on our podcast. It's nothing, you don't have to pay, of course. We're not making money yet, so we're not paying you as well. But of course, you can also promote whatever you want on our podcast. That's what we are offering you, and basically, you can come to our podcast and talk about specific things, whatever you have in mind. And Joshua and me wanted to kind of launch this new way, and just offering everybody to join our podcast and just write us an DM on Instagram or an email or whatever, and then we can get in contact, and just we can do like a little bit of Zoom meeting and see if things work out. And of course, we already have some future guests on our podcast that we are going to record soon something with, but you can also be part of it. So Joshua, maybe you can tell the people what they could expect without telling too much.
Okay, so what you guys could expect in the kind of foreshadow this new information, that we have some guests who are ready to join the podcast. So these are, like Chirag said, these are guests that will help you guys forward. There's a special people, and of course, these are people that Chirag has been in contact with, and these people who have personal experience and can give tips to not only change us but also change you guys. So these are very interesting people, and like Chirag said, not famous people, not like very well known people, but very interesting guests. And we are 100% sure that you guys will be very interested in who it is. So yeah, it will be very adventurous, definitely.
100%, yes. And it will mix things up because we talked much about ourselves, and now we get other people that nobody knows and they're not famous. So I mean, everybody knows David Goggins and everybody knows his story. And like, I would take my hat off to him. But of course, if you hear one story like 10 to 100 times, there's a certain point where you know, okay, I know what happened. And but if you
Yeah,
don't know
exactly.
the person exactly, and it's always like you can always learn even more, because they are always, we don't like, we take every time a like a new guest on our show, so it's not always the same, right? So that's where you can always improve. So stay up. I mean, subscribe to our channel, to our Spotify, iTunes, whatever platform you're listening to, and keep your eyes open, because there will come something big. And yes, it's gonna be adventurous.
Yes, guys. So definitely stay updated with every platform. And of course, Shirk and I, of course, are going to continue not only the guest episodes we're talking about, but continue our normal structure where we help for lifestyle changes to body language, or just helpful mental tips, and just the structure that we do. So we're also going to continue these episodes, but of course, like we just mentioned, open the new dimension to have guests and a chance for you guys to also be one of the guests. So yes, it's going to be very interesting and very exciting, and the podcast is going to just be much, much, much better. So stay updated, guys.
Definitely, it's gonna be awesome.
So yeah, guys.
All right. So I think just for quick information, we don't want to make this episode too big. Just for everybody to know, Joshua and I did not broke up. We will never break up, not in future, never. And no matter what circumstances come, we're gonna conquer it together. And that's what we are. That's why we are brothers. Like that's why we call it Outspoken Brothers. So we got a story to tell, and we will never finish, right?
The podcast won't be a one-person outspoken brother. The podcast was made with two brothers together. So the podcast is going to stay. And it doesn't matter if I'm going to be in one corner of the world and Chirag will be in Timbuktu and some other corner of the world. The podcast will still be alive. And every Sunday, the episodes will come in for the viewers. So yes, guys. So like Chirag said, we are still together in this business. Not in this business, in the podcast to help you guys. So
Exactly. And of course, it's gonna be also adventures for Joshua because he's starting a new way, and everything is new over here. So over over at his place. So definitely, he got so much new things to tell and experience he did. So it's gonna be also in this direction very adventurous and very exciting for you to hear. I mean, many of you people who listens are not from Asia, so they don't know what it's like over there. And Joshua got to tell you guys so much. So basically, this is gonna be also awesome, and also there with the podcast guest. And I mean, who knows when I'm going to come to Malaysia, right?
yes, hopefully soon.
100%. All
But
right, but I think for this episode was pretty good, right? To just tell the people what they can expect, and I don't know what you want to tell you right now, the guys, the audience.
yeah, so like Chirag has said, it's all summarized since many, especially personal people, were asking us, "Oh, what's happening with the podcast?" Especially many friends of ours, friends of Chirag, family and friends of me. And then so we did the official video, like we said, not too long, to just say that we didn't break up. The podcast is still alive. So don't worry, guys. And like Chirag has said, we're gonna open a new dimension. I can start talking about Asia, and hopefully we will get the first Malaysian viewers because I have some Malaysian people follow our podcast, but it's more from family side. But it's gonna open a more image than maybe many Malaysians who have no idea about Europe, but who always wanted to go to Europe or Germany in general. Then Chirag has, of course, the story and the structure to talk about. So it'll be interesting talking about two different types of worlds. So yes, Chirag, I can't wait, and it's gonna open a new dimension.
Yeah, I'm also very excited, and I think the people and the audience also very want to hear the stories which will come, and basically they just have to subscribe, right? Just have to follow up our things, and we're going to upload every Sunday at European time at 10 a.m. So basically at your time it would be what?
In the
6
northern
p.m.
time, I think it will be 6 p.m.
6 p.m. Yeah, 5 p.m. something like that.
Yeah.
All right, so basically that's it for today's episode. You can expect in future something like that in this direction. Maybe we're gonna change or mix things up. That's just a test for you guys, and basically hope you guys enjoyed the video. And Joshua, say some nice words in Malay.
Okay. Terima kasih. And I hope everyone enjoyed this episode, and jumpa lagi. And we're gonna open this new world and everything, and have two sides, two new stories. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And yeah, this was the episode from the Outspoken Brothers podcast, and we hope you guys enjoyed.
Yes, see you guys soon, and don't forget to subscribe and put the bell on so you get a notification if you upload something.
Yes, guys.